All right, what's going on, everybody? Samir Chibane coming at you guys with another video, and in this one right here is going to be a little bit different than the usual. All right, we're going to be covering personality types and also, how you can best fit within a team based on your personality. So, with that being said, the way that I got inspired by to make this video right here is for a couple different reasons. All right, the first one is because one thing I've noticed about my mentor, Tai Lopez, is that he is huge when it comes to personalities and understanding how someone's behavior can really determine their future, okay? And their future in terms of relationships, in terms of, business, in terms of, health, whatever it may be, right? But another reason also is because I was listening to an Audible by Ray Dalio. He just released a new book, The Billionaire Investor. He released a new book called The 12 Principles, and I've been hearing so many good reviews on it, so I finally decided to download the audiobook. And I was listening real carefully to his story because I honestly never read about him before, haven't really heard too much about him before. I might have watched like a TED Talk or two of his, but essentially downloaded his Audible, started listening to it, and he was describing his first, like major failure, I guess you can say, because he started off as an investor at a really young age, and he started managing people's money and stuff like that, but he quickly his empire that he built out quickly fell literally to the ground, and he blamed it on the fact that he did not know his weaknesses. He did not know his partners and his employees' strengths and weaknesses. So essentially, he wasn't really, organizing his team and his company to make the best investments possible, the best decisions possible, the best way to execute on, ideas and projects that he had in mind. So what he ended up determining is that because after his empire fell and he was rebuilding it, he realized that he had to know his weaknesses and he had to find partners to complement his weaknesses as well. And my business partner, Juan Valdez, you guys probably know him already, especially if you're not new to the channel. If you are new, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Join the Shebang Gang where we cover a bunch of different topics when it comes to making money online and just being an internet entrepreneur in general. But one thing also, before I kind of dive in and share my results with you guys, is Tai Lopez, like I said, is huge on this as well. And that's something that, helped me out tremendously in door-to-door sales. And the reason for that was because once I understood that there was multiple different personalities and they all had to be catered to differently, my door-to-door sales and closing ratio started going up. And then when we got into e-commerce, we applied the fact that there is a bunch of different personalities coming to our website, so we had to trigger different emotional and kind of present different things to different personality types. But without getting too deep into that, let's kind of dive right into it. All right, the first test or assessment that Ray Dalio recommended, and that he puts all of his team and all of his employees through, and he takes it more seriously than any interview that he holds. Okay, as a matter of fact, he looks more at the results of the assessments that he makes them take rather than interviewing them. And that's for the sole reason that he understands that people, when they're being interviewed, they're talking consciously, right? They're like, hey, what do they want to hear so that I can get hired and get my job, right? As opposed to with personality types, it's going into the subconscious, right? It's tapping into who you truly are, okay? And that way you can know your strengths, your weaknesses, where you fit in a team, how you can bring the most value to a company or to a business. But the first one that he recommended was the Myers-Briggs Test. You guys probably seen this before. I've taken it a while ago, but never really dissected it to understand, my true personality, I guess you can say. So here's my results. Oh, by the way, it breaks down into 16 different types. I'll kind of just show you guys real quick. And it's all based on these different categories. Okay, so there's 4 different ones. And you have to be one or the opposite within each pair. Okay, so extraversion or introversion, sensing or intuition, thinking and feeling, judging and perceiving. Okay, and essentially all, 4 times 4 is like 16, so you can get 16 different types based on all the different variations. So you guys can go in here and kind of, take it. This one is $50. We paid for our whole team to take it because, essentially Ray Dalio, right, lost his whole company because, he didn't do this in the first place. So the fact that you could do it right now before you have to go through that pain of failing, then realizing like, hey, I need to understand everybody's personality and everybody's strengths and weaknesses around me. You should do this from the starting point, okay? And we realized Juan and I did these as well, and we kind of compared our results, and we realized why we work together so well, and it's because I have that kind of creative, overview vision, and he's super action based and an executor, and so it kind of makes sense, right? But let's get into it. So here's my results right here. I think I've said that like 50 different times, but whatever. So here's my results right here. It gives you a cool PDF breakdown of it. And I got an ENTP. I think the first time that I took it, I got the exact same thing. But I got extraversion. And what this means is that you get energy and excitement from the outer world, right? So I tend to, keep an eye out on the marketplace and what's kind of happening out there. And then being inspired by that. Then coming in and being like, okay, what can I do with this to achieve my goal, right? As opposed to introversion is people who look within themselves and say, hey, what do I know? What do I want to do? And then they bring it out to the outer world, right? Intuition, right here, I don't remember the exact intuition. I think is about, I don't really know exactly. I kind of forget what intuition was all about, but let's see here. ENTPs with others gives you the characteristics of ENTPs, and you can see here love challenging problems and are resourceful in solving them. Okay, focus on the future rather than here and now. They are constantly innovating, and ENTPs with others are extremely perceptive about the attitudes of others. Aim to understand rather than judge them. And I'm not gonna go here and kind of tell you guys all about myself, but I'm sure you guys don't really care anyway. But essentially, I just want to show you guys what the breakdown tells you all about the potential blind spots for, your personality type. And this is, I would say, my favorite section of the whole kind of breakdown because it tells you where your weaknesses are, right? Potential blind spots. For example, Ray Dalio was making all of his investment decisions based on his emotions rather than logic. So what he realized, he had to put a logical process to confirm his emotional kind of, thoughts, right? So what he did is he started using a lot of computers. As a matter of fact, he was one of the first people to use computers to make decisions on, investments, right? Whether it was going to go up or down, and then he would kind of confirm it with his, emotional thing. But not that he started relying completely on his, on logic. He was using both. And so he was covering his weaknesses and his strengths. And that's what allowed him to be one of the most successful investors ever since that. At least one of the sole purposes. I'm sure there was a lot more to it. So yeah, potential blind spots. Here's one really good one I'll share with you guys. They may get bored with their project as soon as the major problems have been solved or the initial challenge has been met. And I could not agree more with this about my weakness is that I get really excited in launching something and putting it together, but I hate having to, keep an eye on it and kind of sit on it for a while. I usually get my biggest excitement. I even recorded a video on this a while ago. Is that I get the majority of my excitement in doing something new, building it, and then once it gets to that point where it's kind of like working and it's automated, then I'm like, okay, well, now I want to do something else. As opposed to my business partner, Juan, whose weakness is that he fails to kind of see the opportunity and really build things from the ground up. He'd rather execute on what's already working, double down on it, and drive it all the way home, right? So you can see how we are, how those two strengths and weaknesses kind of complement each other. Boom. So I want to share that with you guys. The Myers-Briggs, highly recommend you guys take it. Like I said, there is a free one, but this one costs $50, and it's just a lot more detail. It's the official one. Now Ray Dalio recommends another one. It's called the Disc Profile, and this one is insanely detailed, like incredible, especially if you have a team. My team and I literally sat down at a round table over here at our place, and we broke it down to see what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and how we can best capitalize on those things right there. So let me show you guys the Disc Profile. Essentially breaks it down to whether you're one of these 5 categories right here, or profiles right here. You're a creator, which is obviously what I am, generates ideas. Advancer communicates ideas. And refiner challenges ideas. Executor implements ideas. Flexor steps in to fill in the gaps. A flexor is somebody who is a combination of all 4, and he can kind of relate and do a little bit of everything. But the majority of flexors tend to be heavily weighted, like 2 categories, they said. So I'll kind of show you guys my results here. Check, creator. People who generate new ideas and fresh concepts are creators. They prefer to live in the world of possibilities. Creators look for activities that are unstructured or abstract, and they thrive on innovation and unique solutions. And this is literally, kind of explains why most people who are creators can't, really confined to the average system, right, of working 9 to 5, right, because it's so structured, it's so restricting that it crushes their creativity. So this is why the majority of creators and stuff like that tend to do a lot of freelance work and all those cool things, or entrepreneurs as well. But Advancer, those team members who communicate new ideas, carrying them forward, are advancers. They focus on the personal, interactive world of feelings and relationships. And advancers manage the human component of any solution, and they enjoy whipping up enthusiasm for a project. So I believe that HR and managers tend to be, really, advancers, because they can lead people, they can create enthusiasm within the team, and within the company. A refiner, an individual who analyzes a solution for flaws or revise a project systematically, are refiners. And what this means is you don't want a bunch of yes men around you, okay? People who are always agreeing with you, especially if you're a creator like myself. You want to have people that are challenging your ideas, people that are challenging your predictions, the people that are telling you, hey, well, what if this doesn't go right? What if this goes wrong? What if what if this colorway doesn't work, right? So refiners are people who kind of give you a different angle, a different perspective, and that's really key. An executor, obviously somebody who takes the vision of the creator and the enthusiasm that the advancer makes, and the kind of predictions that the refiner makes, and the executor kind of drives it home and delivers concrete results and seeks successful implementations. And they tend to be realists, right? They look at exactly what the numbers, the data is telling them, and they make decisions based on that. And a flexor, those individuals who are a combination of the other 4 roles, they have an equal preference for most or all of the roles. And flexors can often adapt their style to fit needs of the team, and they provide, view issues from different perspectives. So flexor, I feel like CEOs have to be kind of a little bit of flexors.
Connect to your Wi-Fi network.
Oops, that's my
Alexa. You
Alexa.
can find setup instructions in the Help section of your Alexa app.
And this is key right here. Remember that no role is better or worse than any other. A balanced team will have all the roles represented. The most effective teams have members who find the opportunities to do what they do best and give others the room to use their talents. Okay, so bunch of different sections. This is literally like a 30-page or 20-page PDF and 21-page PDF, and it breaks it down to so many different categories. So first one is understanding your team role. The second one is overview of your role, your strengths, your challenges, working with others, your flexibility and stress at work, and kind of what you need to focus on to not stress at work. and also introduction to the Z process. So the Z process also really interesting. It kind of gives you this like workflow of how you and your team should be executing on different ideas and projects that you have in mind. And really what it is, to kind of make it simple for you guys to understand, is it starts off with creating, right? Like new ideas are born. And then it goes to the advancing stage where new ideas are given more structure, broad strategies, and kind of roles are, what valuable and clarity the role they might play in the project, like every single person involved in it. And then it goes to the refining process, where new ideas are scrutinized to see if they are realistic. Things are analyzed in orderly fashion to find flaws. This is really major because sometimes a creator can overlook the flaws and overlook the problems that might happen down the road. And then the executing phase, right? So once you have the new idea, you assign the team roles, you refine it, and now it's time to put it into execution. Whereas I feel like, what Juan and I were doing before we kind of started growing our team is we went from creating to executing. We forgot the advancing stage. We completely didn't even know about a refining stage. Or maybe we had it all different, all kinds of fucked up, right? So we'd create, execute, go refine, and then advance. When in reality, this is the best process to go about executing, all right? And then the creating stage gives you all types of, more data, communication, refining, the refining stage, the executing stage, communication, meetings, and time management, comparison of the team roles. This was also really good. And you can really see how everything kind of fits together when you have everybody in the right role, all right? This, I think it might have been a little bit of a longer video than I would have liked it to be, but I feel like it was really important to share this with you guys. Because truth be told, that companies, go under overnight for the simple fact that they fail to understand their strengths and their weaknesses. And entrepreneurs tend to struggle really, really hard if they don't pick the right business partner, or they pick no business partner, or if they're trying to do everything on their own, right? Or maybe if you have a team that are all creators and you have no executors. So this really puts it into perspective where you and your company are, where you have those blind spots, where you have those weaknesses, those challenges, and then going out there and hiring the right people and bringing the right team together to be able to execute on all the great ideas and projects you have in mind. So with that being said, peace out. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, and let me know what you guys think, what you guys got out of this video. Peace.